Hello, students. Let us try to understand tree diagrams through this text, very useful text. So, first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Kirti Azad Mandava. He has written this paper, and I'm reading with you, and we will try to understand the tree diagrams. So, according to this text, that's a learning outcome is that in the previous chapter we have learned about constituents and phrase structure, right? So that I had already discussed that the constituents is the meaningful words, and phrase structure, phrase is the group of words, right? And which do not have phrases do not have subject and verb, right? So we know that language has a structure that is based on neat arrangements of different constituents in a particular order: subject, verb, then object, something like this, right? Each constituent in the structure has a specific function. Of course, subject has a specific function, that's noun has a specific function, main verb, helping verb, then suppose adverb, or then other words like object or something. This is, every word has its own function, right? Shares certain relationship with the other constituents in the structure. Definitely that subject then verb means there is a relationship between subject and verb. Subject will do, doer, it is doer, suppose, will do something, and when there is an object in the sentence, so subject does something for object. For example, very simple example, always keep in mind, Ram killed Ravan. Here subject or noun Ram, but noun, that is noun, Ravan is also noun, but here the Ram is doer, and that's why it's a, because Ram does something, Ram killed Ravan, so that is Ram is actor and action is killing, and object is of Ravan. Ravan is noun, but it is he is object because Ravan is killed by Ram, right? So that is there. Now what is this? That's a each constituent in the structure has a specific function and shares certain relationship with the other constituents in the structure, so that each constituent has its own function and relationship. Now Ferdinand de Saussure had explained these as syntagmatic and paradigmatic relationship. Very important terms, this technical terms, syntagmatic and paradigmatic. So we are going to understand first syntagmatic relationship. They are a linear relationship between constituents, right? Linear relationship between constituents in a given structure. For example, in a statement in English, the verb comes after the subject, of course. That is this way: subject, then verb, then object. So the verb come after the subject, right? And agrees with the subject. For example, Ram eats mango, for example. So that's a Ram, and Ram eats mango, eats a mango, eats a mango. So that's a Ram is singular, and eats, that is why S is there, which is which satisfied singular subject, right? So verb satisfied singular subject, that is example. And number and gender, and because sometime he or sometime she, this way, as in the sentences given below. Now in first and second, birds fly because birds fly because that's a plural, right? Bird is plural, and fly, that is verb, is plural, right? That's a plural. But in this case, that's a subject is singular, and that's why verb is also singular. That's a, the bird flies, and here plural because subject is plural, so birds fly, right? Similarly, fish swim and the fish swims. So this is the singular and plural subject, right? So no need to explain much because it's a very simple. Now, so that is called syntagmatic. Okay. Now the paradigmatic relationships are what? The paradigmatic relationships are relationships between constituents that belong to the same category and therefore share the same function in the sentence. For example, in first and third, birds and fish are paradigmatic relationship, and so do fly and swim. Okay, this is paradigmatic. This is syntagmatic, right? What is syntagmatic? I'm telling you. Wait a minute. That's a syntagmatic is this and this, and paradigmatic example is that. So sorry, I'm very sorry. That's a paradigmatic is the relationship between constraints that belong to the same category, right? Therefore share the same function in the sentence. For instance, it's a first and third, right? So that is first and third is the, wait a minute, first and third, that is first and third, that is paradigmatic, because here no s, right? So that is actually a plural, and then plural, this is plural subject and plural verb. Okay, now the functions and relationship between categories and constituents in a phrase or any other structure may also be derived as a rule of the grammar. These can be represented in many ways based on our own convenience for the sake of study. However, in syntax, there are two usual ways of representing the structure. They are tree diagram and labeled breaking, that is sentence is divided into different branches and then sub branches. So that is there. In this chapter we will learn how to represent the structure of a phrase, clause, or a sentence using tree diagram with examples from English. So that is, now what is tree diagram? Tree diagram and labeled breaking are ways of representing the relationship between constituents. So ultimately, what is tree diagram or label? That's a breaking are ways of representing relationship between constituents. So that is very important, relationship between constituents. So let us see first example, that is in first sentence we see the representation of sentence in first using tree diagram. Here tree diagram we are not able to see, but we will try to understand what they are speaking. We see the representing the same sentence and labeled breaking. That is, in labeled breaking the sentence is put in square brackets. The constituents, okay, here label breaking. Okay, so that's a tree diagram. I will try to fetch if it is there. Okay, now labeled breaking is that's a subject birds and VP fly, right? So that is noun phrase and verb phrase. Okay, that is there. Okay, now in label breaking the sentence is put in square brackets. The constituents are, so first of all, sentence is put in a square bracket, right? Brackets, and then the constraints are enclosed in square brackets too. The label at the left most bottom corner of the bracket gives the information about the grammatical category of the constraints. In second, the first open square brackets comes with labels S and enclose the whole sentence. It indicate birds fly is a sentence. So that is, first let me tell you that is birds fly, this one from here to here, this is the sentence, okay, which is in square bracket, right? Labeled as encloses whole sentence to indicate birds fly in a sentence. Then the next open bracket with labeled NP indicates uh, indicates birds is a noun phrase, and the third open bracket with labeled VP indicates fly is the verb phrase. Every bracket that is opened has to be closed as well. So in second we see that 3 open brackets equal 3 close brackets, okay. That is I am going to explain you later. Now we shall understand basics of tree diagram with the help of example in first, that is in the later sections of this chapter small learn to draw tree diagrams for different types of phrases, clauses and sentences. The tree diagram in first is given below. Is again here tree diagram I cannot fetch, but yes, we will try to understand through text. The tree diagram, as we know already, is a notation of structure of sentence in order to make it easy for us to understand and explain the structure. So ultimate purpose of any tree diagram of an IC analysis, that's a sentence breaking, is to understand and explain a structure, what kind of structure this sentence is followed, right? Here S, NP and VP are called nodes. So every in a tree we have seen that the when from where branches are splitted, branches are sprouted, which is called node. So similarly here all NS, NP and VP, right? So these are called node, okay. Now the lines that move from S to NP and VP are called branches, of course. There is a linear relationship and also hierarchical relationship between the nodes and order and other constraints of the structure. So we say that NP and VP are sister nodes. Important, that is NP and VP are sister nodes as they share a linear relationship, because between linear relationship between them, right? So that is called sister node. They occur at the same time are the daughter nodes. So then sister nodes, that is occurred in a daughter node as they share hierarchical relationship between them. We see that S dominates the NP and VP, NP and VP, and is at higher level than NP and VP. So it is called, understand that NP and VP are the immediate constituents of S, right? So the triangle in this tree diagram indicates that this tree diagram does not show the complete analysis of structure down to its last constraint. Instead, it denotes that the analysis is incomplete and that this tree diagram can be analyzed further down into other constraints of NP and VP. Whatever the analysis is complete, we can see branches and not triangle in the tree diagram. So triangle are not enough if we see that there's a sentence and then NP and VP, right? So that triangle is not enough, that is again divided. This is the meaning of this paragraph. Now constituents of phrases, we already know that there could be different kinds of phrases such as noun phrase, verb phrase, prepositional phrase, adjective phrase and adverb phrase. Each phrase gets its name from the head. Very important, how phrase name is decided. Each phrase gets its uh, name from the head, which is most important and obligatory, means necessary constituents in the phrase, right? without the noun uh, phrase without the noun. So that is each phrase. So what is the meaning here? That each phrase is named by the head, that is the important and obligatory or necessary constituent of the phrase. Therefore the noun is the head in a noun phrase, and there cannot be noun phrase without noun. Simple. There cannot be noun phrase without noun, right? Noun phrase without noun. Similarly, that the verb is the head in the verb phrase. Very important. Verb is the head in the verb phrase. Preposition is the head of prepositional phrase, and so on. Adjective is the head in the adjective phrase, and adverb is the head in the adverbial phrase. In the previous chapters, you have already studied the structure of noun phrase and verb phrase. In this section, we shall learn to draw the tree diagram for the structure of these phrases. I had already explained in previous slideshow noun phrase, so that I think you must have got idea, and here also they have explained little. That is, noun phrase means the head word of noun phrase is noun, means noun should be there, must be there in noun phrase. So first let us look at the noun phrase. We know that the noun phrase may have just one constituent, the head of noun phrase. Again repeating, the head of noun phrase, right? The head of noun phrase, which is important, and noun phrase which is also only obligatory constituents. This is very important constituent in noun phrase. The tree diagram for a noun phrase which is single constituents. I don't know why we are not able to see tree diagram. Anyway, here the immediate constituents of noun phrase is noun, which is head, and the immediate constituents of noun is the noun bird. So example through example, we can say that the tree is complete as it has only branches and no triangle, right? So that tree is completed which has okay. The noun phrase can also have more constituents as shown below. That's a noun phrase. Here has the determiner, and the noun head is has its immediate constituents, right? So noun phrase, here the determiner, the actually the noun phrase here determiner, and the noun, the immediate constituents of determiner here is an article, and the immediate constituents of the noun is the noun bird, right? So that's a determiner and noun in the sentence birds fly. Okay, we sorry we need to note that uh, there can be only one determiner in the structure of noun phrase. It is possible for an noun phrase to have another noun phrase in its structure. Important. What is it? Is possible for an NP or noun phrase to have another noun phrase in a structure, but never would it have more than one determiner in the same. Very important information, that in the noun phrase it is possible that in a noun phrase more than one noun phrase there, but never would it have possible that more than one determiner. So in a noun phrase more than one noun phrase will be there, but determiner will be just one in the same noun phrase. Let us consider two more examples of NP with the determiner as a possessive and genitive possessive. My brother, possessive pronoun, my, mine, her, hers, right? These are a possessive pronoun. Another possessive pronoun is their, theirs. These are called theirs, right? These are called possessive pronoun. His, next is his, right? Yours, your and yours. These are possessive pronoun. Okay. Now, in the tree diagram 4, we can see that noun phrase with a possessive pronoun. There is just one determiner in the noun phrase and it is represented in the structure and tree diagram 5, sorry, tree diagram we cannot see here. Noun phrase with a genitive possessive. The determiner here has another NP, my brother, as a constituent along with the genitive possessive marker S, right? So that is not given here. Wait a minute. My brother. So that my is I have already told you. The beautiful garden in this tree diagram, the structure of adjective, because beautiful is adjective, the structure of adjective beautiful, adjective phrase has not yet been analyzed completely. This is why, that is why we see triangle. Okay, and in the tree below to the prepositional phrase has not been completely analyzed and therefore it is denoted in a triangle. Okay. Here not given, but I am telling you that whenever it is not uh, tree diagram is end this way, and that is, sorry, I'm making it again. T diagram is making this way, that is not discussed fully. Actually what they are saying, not analyzed fully. So they are telling the same here completely, right? Not has been completely analyzed. So that is the symbol of triangle. So triangle is used, right? Okay. Now let us look at the model tree diagram for all constraints MP. In the model tree diagram, we see the obligatory constituents N and all the other optional constraints in NP, right? So N is the noun is the obligatory constituent and all the other optional constituents in NP. Those preceding the head are the pre-modifiers, right? And those that follow the head are called post-modifier, right? So pre-modifier and which follow, which is called post modifier. These pre modifiers and post modifiers add to meaning of the head, right? Very simple and very good explanation. In the NP in English, the categories of words that occur as pre-modifiers and post-modifiers are given in the model 8. Note that the order in which these occur also fixed and is represented in a tree diagram. Among the pre-modifiers, there is usually not more than one pre-modifier determiner. Again important. Among these pre-modifiers, right, there is usually not more than one pre-modifier, that is determiner, or ordinal number 1 2, that is order, first second, or quantifier some, any, this is called quantifier. But there could be more than one adjective phrase or noun phrase, right? So that is, but there could be more than one adjective phrase or noun phrase, right? And generally a prepositional phrase or casual uh, constituents occur as the post modifier. There could be more than one prepositional phrase or clause in an noun phrase. Often relative clause occur as the casual constituents in noun phrase. So that is important. Now verb phrase. In this section we shall look at the tree diagram for verb phrase. Verb phrase in an immediate constraints of sentence along with the noun phrase. This is immediate constraint, this is sentence, noun phrase and verb phrase. Okay, is an immediate constraints of the sentence along with noun phrase. The verb phrase can have the verb and other constituents such as noun phrase, prepositional phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase. Very important for information here, that is verb phrase may contain a noun phrase, prepositional phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase. Okay, the verb phrase has two obligatory constituents, very important. Obligatory, necessary constituent. Auxiliary means helping verb, and verb means main verb. That is called verb phrase. Okay, now the auxiliary has tense as its obligatory constituents. Has, have, has is present tense, right? So that is obligatory, sorry, that is obligatory constraints, right? What is that? Is auxiliary has tense, and that is obligatory constituents. Then there may be other optional constituents such as modal, perfective aspects, right? That is progressive aspect. Perfective is head, and progressive ing form, and passive is shown in the model tree diagram, right? For a VP given below in a tenth, which could serve as a model tree diagram for the structure of VP. Tense denotes whether the verb is in past tense form or present tense form in the phrase, clause, or sentence where it is used. So tense present, that's past, present, or future, in other words, right? If there is a modal aspects used in the verb phrase, the tree diagram indicates that there is have used as a helping verb along with the past participle form of main verb, right? Similarly, for the progressive aspect, it indicated that there is be as is the helping verb and the present participle form of the main verb, and so also for passive it is shown that be is the helping verb with the past participle form of the main verb. This is a grammar part, I think you all must be familiar. And then the verb in its base form is shown as the immediate constituents. We always sister node of auxiliary in the VP. A VP can also have other kinds of phrases in its constituents, as we have already said. In the tree diagram 11 and 14, we see that NP, PP, noun phrase, prepositional phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase as the constituents of verb phrase respectively. So that may be the VP in English can take any other kind of phrase as its constituents as stipulated by the word order. However, these are always optional constituents of VP. There could be more than one of these phrasal constraints within the same VP. An example of VP with two NPs is shown here in T diagram. We can say that buy her a ring, right? So that is actually not given. Let us see, let us discuss in another slideshow. The prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and usually has two obligatory constituents. Preposition, of course, preposition head and NP. Very important. Means in a prepositional phrase, what is required? That is preposition and NP, right? Sometimes it may have other constituents too, most probably another PP and prepositional phrase head is preposition, and NP, that is compulsorily the part of prepositional phrase, but sometimes prepositional phrase may contain another prepositional phrase, and generally not any other kind of phrase. The example of tree diagrams of the structure of PP are given that is not given. There are only the obligatory constraints. The immediate constraints of the head P is the preposition, and NP is the garden. Here, in the garden. So what they are saying, that in the garden, that's a preposition and this is NP, right? So this is compulsory. This is the mandatory part of this sentence here. And we see that there is an optional constraints along with two usual obligatory constraints of PP, the P head and the preposition from, right? Another example, this is a from behind the curtain, right? So here this is the another case. What they are saying, that in there are 17 sentences, that's a behind the curtain. So that optional constituents along with two usual obligatory constraints is PP, P head with prepositional from and the prepositional phrase behind the curtain, right? So that are immediate constraints of PP. And then further, embedded PP also has its obligatory constituents with the preposition behind as the P head and curtain, that's a NP. Okay, I got it. Here PP and 2PP, that's a first PP. Why? Because this whole sentence is read as prepositional phrase. Then forget it. Then start from here. That is start from here behind. That is, so that is one head behind, and that's a NP. That's a compulsory part of prepositional phrase. They mean to say. Okay. Okay. Now, adjective phrase. Adjective phrase has the adjective as its head as its only obligatory constant. Very informative paper. Adjective, that's the only obligatory constant is only adjective, as shown in the tree diagram. It may have other optional constituents such as degree, which may sometimes be called intensifier. How much, right? For example, more beautiful, most beautiful, that is intensifier, right? In the tree diagram sentence we have to see. What sentence is not given here? I don't know. Let us see. Okay, so that's the sentence. The tree diagram 19. Okay, not given here, not being shown. 19. We see an example where very is the intensifier and beautiful is the adjective. Very beautiful, for example, very beautiful. So intensifier, what they say, obligatory constituents is just adjective, and optional constituents is, that is obligatory is this, and optional constituents, that is intensifier. Okay. Now, adjective phrase may also have other phrases as its optional constituents. In the tree diagram 28, we see that adjective found as the adjective head and prepositional of film. Actually, it's not given, that's why I'm not discussing here. I will see another, but here let me finish this because a very informative number of things are there. So I'm reading, but here actually I'm leaving and then I will try to find it out from directly net, because we will understand in a better way if we take from the another. But here I am winding up, and then I would start next slide. I will start from adverb phrase, right? So here I am winding up. Thank you so much. Bye bye.